Hi everybody. I've been doing some videos about how to study the Bible, trying to make each video kind of short. This particular study I'm going to talk about using a concordance, and I presume a lot of you are familiar with a concordance, but if you're not, when you're talking about a Bible concordance, basically what it is well, we know that the Old Testament, when it was written, originally it was in Hebrew, most of it. Some of it was written in a language called Aramaic. And the New Testament was written originally in Greek. And what they do with a concordance is they take the words that we use in English and it tells you what the original word in Hebrew was or the original word in Greek, and it'll give you a definition of it too. And you can buy a concordance at a bookstore, and usually you can get a really good one for pretty cheap, but they also have online concordances, and there's more than one. The most famous one is probably called Strong's Concordance, and it's named after the guy who compiled it. His name was James Strong. It's not the only concordance out there, but it is the most famous one. And actually, I'm gonna show you an example of an online version of it. But the reason I'm talking about a concordance is because sometimes when these words are translated into English, um, sometimes maybe the word choice wasn't the best. Other times you get pastors that will tell you what a word or a term means, and it's really not what it really meant in the original version, and that's a deception. It's dangerous, and I just want to give you an example of that I've encountered. And so what I'm going to do is go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3. And before I read the verse, in context, the church in Thessalonica had been led to believe that the second coming of Jesus Christ had already occurred, and they were a little bit shaken by this. So the Apostle Paul wrote them a letter. He's saying, no, this didn't happen. He's telling them, the conditions or some conditions that have to be met first before Jesus will return. And with that, we'll go into the verse, and it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, Christ's return, that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, which of course is the Antichrist. I think most people are aware of that. But anyway, you see where it says, except there come a falling away first. Now, the churches that I used to go to, that I was told by people in the church that the falling away was people not going to church. Um, and I witnessed a pastor who was given a sermon gesture to some empty seats in the church and say, this is an example of the falling away. I saw that in person. I've also seen it at least one time on TV, or maybe I saw a pastor do it on a YouTube video a few years ago when I used to watch pastors on YouTube, but I don't anymore. But nevertheless, they would say, okay, falling away is people not going to church. And I later on discovered that's really not what it actually means in the original Greek. So I'm going to blueletterbible.org, and this is a pretty good website for navigating the Bible, and it has a concordance available there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this verse that's in here. You see where it says search the Bible? I just put 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Click the search thing. And if you see right there, the highlighted area on top, that's the verse. To the left, there's a little blue bar that says Tools. And I'm highlighting that, and then this submenu comes up. Well, I'm just going to click on Tools, and it opens up this area where it's got all the verses on the left, or not the verses, the words on the left hand side of the verse. Let no man deceive you, right, in English. It's got the Strong's number. G stands for Greek. If it was a Hebrew word, it would be start with an H, and then it's got the word in Greek, right? So let's go down to where it says a falling away. It's right here, a falling away. Now the original word in Greek is apostasia, and in English we would say apostasy. And what apostasy is, it means to forsake the truth as God presented it and just do your own thing, right? Now, some people might try to argue that not going to church is a form of apostasy, and I'm not going to, debate that right now, but I will say that to narrow it down and say that Paul was saying, except there come people not going to church first, and that man of sin be revealed, etc. Really, it, apostasy, you can have a church that's packed to the rafters, standing room only. And if the church is teaching a bunch of lies, that church is in apostasy. Every church in the country could be standing room only, and the entire church could still be in apostasy. So to narrow it down to say, oh, it's just people not going to church, well, frankly, I think the pastors who say that are in apostasy. But nevertheless, I do think it's important to when somebody tells you what a word means in the Bible, maybe you want to look into it and see if that's really what it means. And sometimes the best way to do that is with a concordance like this one, where you can look it up in the original language, whether it be Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic. It's helped me out a lot, and so I just thought I would share that with everybody. I want to thank everybody again for watching. I hope this was useful to you, and I hope you'll come back and watch some of my later videos. Thanks again, everybody. God bless. Bye.